Democratic backsliding is a serious threat in Brazil. We are currently facing an authoritarian pandemic for which democratic vaccines are urgently needed. The only thing we can do to fight this pandemic is creating ways for the systems to be less vulnerable to this virus and to these threats. Pacto is a civil society coalition that brings together over 200 organizations in Brazil, united to defend democratic rule of law.
Das boas-vindas a todo mundo, justamente porque hoje é a ocasião da construção da agenda Democracia Forte.
We have really progressive organizations that has been historical players in Brazilian fights for all different kinds of rights, and at the same time, we have organizations that are more conservative. It was no easy task to bring these people together because some of them used to be adversaries.
A gente está falando de equilíbrio entre os poderes. A gente tem a transparência internacional e a plataforma justa aqui também, fantástica.
When we're bringing together different people that do not have the same political agenda, sometimes that can lead to discomfort. Oh, you're bringing those people, you're bringing this topic, I don't agree with them at all. But this discomfort brings us a chance to highlight what we're doing here. Yes, this discomfort is called democracy.
A dinâmica vai além de esquerda e direita, né? Assim, tem um lugar de estabilizar o sistema democrático como um todo.
Que a conjuntura atual existe uma resposta coordenada.
Isso podia ser eixo de atuação do Pacto.
By orchestrating these different actors with different knowledge, different strategies, and also different identities. Pacto is the only organization in Brazil that builds this kind of diverse coalition and that aims to strengthen and to enhance the democratic system in Brazil, the democratic conditions in Brazil. And meanwhile, the organizations that are part of our network, they are leading the fights for rights, agendas, and leading their own battles.
To fight hunger, you need democracy. To combat corruption, you need democracy. To defend a more stable market and economy, you need democracy.
Fala, Jandira, tudo bom? Sou o Arthur, do Pacto, pela Democracia. A gente vai lançar daqui a pouquinho uma agenda de revisão do regimento da Câmara. É feito pela sociedade civil, são 20 organizações fazendo. Acho que vai ser muito legal se a senhora pudesse participar.
We grow this coalition and then we create this safe space so they can share the collective knowledge. And then once we have all this collective knowledge, we can anticipate and facilitate the responses to threats against democracy.
Supporters stormed several government offices on Sunday.
So it was a very tense electoral process. And what we saw was that some people tried to discredit Brazilian democracy, especially the electoral system. So it was very important that organizations like Pacto were capable to send a message, a clear message.
One was a letter from all the sectors stating they would not accept any interference and that Brazil should respect and defend democracy, the rule of law, and the electoral process.
Estamos passando por momento de imenso perigo para a normalidade democrática.
Along with this statement, we had a public letter that was signed by more than 1 million people in Brazil.
De forma uníssona, Estado democrático de direito sempre.
The message was in defense of the rule of law and democracy in Brazil.
Bradamos de forma uníssona. Estado democrático de direito sempre!
We saw the opportunity to bring together sectors that were not normally involved in the defense of democracy. That, I think, was the interesting point of August 11. So we started a conversation with the business people to the Federation of Industry of São Paulo, also FEBRABAN, which is the Federation of Banks, even agricultural sectors that they are considered very conservative.
We needed to ally with really powerful actors from other sectors of society in Brazil, so they could join efforts with us and create a whole new strategy to deal with these undemocratic attacks against the electoral system. Bringing people together around these letters and this statement arose the issue on the integrity of the electoral process, so huge demonstrations all around the country. It was the first time throughout this whole process, throughout this whole moment of democratic backsliding in Brazil, that people went to the streets, got together and defended democracy in the most huge and strong way possible.
But also, we start a movement that is more specific for the days of the election regarding breaks of the electoral rules, because we were very concerned that there was the possibility that some sectors of the Brazilian society would challenge the electoral rules.
So we built up this situation room where we gathered 140 people from 40 organizations from our network and other partners for us to be able to monitor every single risk, for example, to guarantee access to the polling stations and to guarantee the results were going to be respected and recognized as soon as possible.
What we had in the end was a clear electoral process with no contestation.
We protected the integrity of the elections and we started a new cycle from 2023 on.
Democratic rule of law is the foundation on which a world of peace and prosperity for all can be built.
A gente está nesse momento histórico e a nossa tarefa também é histórica.
To see such incredible diversity of people that are working with such heart, with such passion, dedication, knowledge, to me is a great honor.
Hoje é o dia da gente dar um passo a mais.
We still have many challenges ahead.
1, 2, 3, Democracia!
But we have a long-term mission and we are here to defend democracy for a long time now.